What's happening, YouTube family? This is the Grimes reporting live from the Grimes. I don't know why I like to say that, but I do. I'm gonna keep saying it. Oh well. Anyway, we're here to have kind of like a story time. You know what I mean? About how we met,
Yeah.
uh, and how we got here, or why we got here. Yeah, how we got here. Uh, while we're doing that, present it.
Oh, we're going to
She
be
grubbing.
eating because I'm hungry and I've been awake since 2 a.m. So,
Yeah.
and it's what 10 o'clock at night, so I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Interviews and all that good stuff.
So,
Oh,
you want me
go
to
ahead.
start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
No,
so
let me
we've
go.
been married for 6.5 years and together for about 10 years. And we met in an interesting, I would say, interesting way. Let me roll your eyes. Um, we met at a mutual acquaintance's residence because he was having a barbecue at his house, and
X. Well,
and he ended up inviting, I guess, my husband and this person and his cousin at the time, to his house, and I was there. So really wasn't thinking about meeting anybody, but he just ended up there, and his cousin and my one of my friends were, I guess, talking or whatever, and he ended up with my phone, and he was texting my friend. And then when I got the phone, I mean, I really wasn't paying attention. I just knew that he was talking to my friend on the phone. And then the next day, I text my friend, and when the phones have the inbox and it's sent and everything like that, I text my friend, and then he responds, but he responds from his phone number, which I didn't know was in my phone. It just popped up as it popped up as a contact. So I ended up telling him I wasn't trying to text him or whatever, and then he's like, "Well, I could delete your number or whatever," he said. And then
something rude.
it was rude. He was very rude when I first met him. And for some reason, we just started texting. Like, I remember texting him like all day. I feel like from that point on, I don't really remember how the conversation progressed, but it did. So,
Well, to rewind that thing, I went with my cousin. He said, hey, homeboy having a little cookout, little pool thing. Of course, I'm down. Get there. Um, she's there. I don't even know if I greeted myself, which was probably
no,
a little bit rude. I ain't gonna lie, probably a little bit,
it was.
but whatever. But get there chilling. We watching TV. He getting food ready and all that good stuff. Not even like 15 minutes into it, my cousin is like, "Hey, bro, she's single." Like, huh? Yeah, bro, she's single. You should try and talk to her and this and that. I'm like, I'm good, bro. Like, yeah, I'm cool. Ain't what I came here for, but whatever. He's like, nah, bro, blah blah blah. Like, stay trying to push it. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. So anyway, I go out to the balcony uh, with my cousin, and he's still pushing it on. Hey, bro, she got a good job, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they don't even talk no more. This and that. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to hook up with nobody ex at the house. Now, if we were somewhere else, maybe, but that's not what I'm here for. Like, whatever. He was like, man, F that. I'm gonna go talk to her. All right, do what you do. So apparently, when he goes talk to her, you know, do what.
No, but he didn't talk to me. I didn't know
Well,
anything about
that's
it.
what he told me.
Oh,
So that niggas do go in there. When you talking back and forth, hey, let me see your phone. So I guess at that time he's talking to her friend and whatever. And I'm just watching TV. I think I had a few words with you at the time?
He just asked me how old I was, and at the time I was 21.
Mm.
Yeah, I was 21, I believe, at that time.
But yeah, had a little convo. Not much, obviously, but talking. And apparently I was rude because when I was getting the haircut, you know, by her ex, uh, me being blind, I'm thinking, looking across the room, that she's looking at me. So I'm like, getting a haircut, before I got bald, that is. Uh, I'm looking across the room, and I'm like, you looking at me? And it looked like she's just staring me down, which, she wasn't, she claimed. And I'm like, hey, what you looking at, eh? Hey, excuse me? I'm like, hey, what you looking at? I ain't looking at you. Like, it look like you looking at me. Like, what's going on?
Wasn't at all.
But anyway, night ends. She go about her way. I go about mine. And what was it? Following day?
Yeah, a couple
days after. Anyway, a couple days after, she accidentally texts me.
It was not on purpose.
I feel you. That's your story. You're going to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Anyway, she accidentally texted me. Or called me. What's a text or call? Text. And I'm like, she's like, oh, I responded however I responded. And I said, well, you can delete my number. And to me, it wasn't rude. I'm just saying, like, if it was an accident, you could delete my number. Mm. Which to me is okay to say. You know what I'm saying? Delete my number. If it was an accident, delete the thing. I could have said, like...
Do you remember what I said after that? I don't remember what I said.
I have no clue, but I wish I did, because I'm sure I wasn't the only rude nigga. And so, trying to make brother feel like he always rude. But anyway, after that, we went on talking little by little. And then the little by little went to almost every day. Every day. Oh, now y'all know how it is when you talking, whether you're talking or dating somebody that's intriguing or interesting. You talk all night, the little high school thing, you talk all night, all day, you lose sleep, thinking about that person, all that mushy gushy shit that people do. We was doing the mushy gushy. Like, good morning, how are you? We still do it, but we don't do it as much as we was doing it then. Like, how you doing? Our little one over here peeking, like, hey, what's going on over there? What's going on? Hopefully he chill out for a little bit. But anyway, we talk, stay up late nights, talking, getting to know each other a whole lot, a whole lot. 1,001 breakups, because the folks that's in my life, they wasn't too fond of her at the moment, so to speak. I only say so to speak because my mom, being who she is, she was like, oh, she quiet, which she is. Shy, y'all know, old school black moms, they don't care how shy, nervous you is, you better speak when you come to the house. And all that nervousness and shit is going out the window. Like, you better wave, say something. You better say something and make sure you can hear them. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't like that. And the first impression is, the last and the best one. So that was an issue. I broke up with her for that reason.
Sure did.
And for other reasons. Shenanigans. But I was going through my phase. I'm not sure what I wanted to do. If it was going to work or if I should try and all this other crap, all of my feelings,
I think it's important that we are, I guess we're different in our backgrounds. Different in a lot of ways and the same in a lot of ways, as you would say. Yeah. So I think that was a big problem at the beginning, because like the way that I grew up doing things and the way that he grew up doing things was different. So, and I thought, and me, I always thought I was right. So that was a problem. So
Always. Dang.
I could admit that now.
I didn't know you thought that.
But but then he did break up with me for some shenanigans that I didn't appreciate. But the crazy part, what I always thought was interesting, that he would break up and then call me the next day and be like he wanted to hang out and stuff, and I never understood that, because I was like, okay.
First of all, everybody that will watch this should watch this. No, every time you done broke up with somebody, you still thought about them, and you still called with your dumb ass, and the other dumb ass still answered it. So, man, just throw me up on him. Everybody done went through it. Oh, you broke up. But what you doing?
No.
Where you at?
But then we would be back together, and I didn't even, you didn't even say nothing. You would be like, oh, so we back together. And I'm like, how?
Yeah, she did get me on that one time. She was like, we ain't together. Oh, shit.
Like, you just...
I guess I'll date myself.
Yeah, he was dating himself
Kiss
for
myself.
a minute.
Whatever. Anyway, funny part of the story, though. So...
There's a funny part.
So-called funny. Anyway, my relative that hooked us up, of course, thanks to him and, God Almighty, we're married, to this day, for that sequence of us meeting and all that good stuff. But, one day I hit my cousin up and told him, like, hey, I'm talking to Brittany. And he like, oh, word? I'm like, yeah. He was like, does old boy know? I'm like, no. He was like, yeah, bro, you might want to, I'll let him know. Like, did you talk to her? I'm like, man, you the one that advised me to hook up with her. And maybe you should tell him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't my responsibility. Like, that ain't my boy. But I did hang out with him on occasions because he's connected to my cousin. You know what I'm saying? In that way. So when my cousin hang out with him, I hang out with him. You know how that is. But anyway, I'm like, bro, like, that's not, because don't no man want to ask another man for permission. Unless y'all got that kind of bond to where it's like, hey, bro, I know that's your ex, but she bad. She thick them up. You know what I'm saying? That's if you got that type of relationship. I ain't never had that type of relationship. I don't think with nobody, including my cousin. Actually, I have, but it wasn't that. Anyway, he like, yeah, you should tell him that you talking to him. I'm like, but I'm not dating her, so like, I don't see the big. He was like, bro, just do it. The only reason I did it because he said, do it for me. If he didn't say that, I would have been like, nah, fuck that. Like, I ain't finna tell him I'm talking to his ex. Like, we ain't never boys like that. Like, we ain't never boys at all. Anyway, I call him, like, hey, bro, I'm just calling to let you know that, Brittany, I'm talking to her, blah, blah, blah. Just, courtesy call, basically. Courtesy call. Because I really didn't care. But he says, hey, he was like, oh, I forgot what he said, but I remember him distinctly saying, oh, well, she's not, you ain't her type, and this, pretty much throwing shade on it. Like, throwing shade on me hella bad. I'm like, all right, bro. In my head, I'm like, I ain't asking you for your permission. I'm just letting you know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing because, this. He's like, yeah, you ain't her type and blah, blah, blah. You short and this. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, nigga, like, so? I'm like, all right, bro. I'm just calling to let you know. And I hung the phone up. So, what happens next?
Oh, yes. I guess after that whole thing, because I didn't know about it, I get a long text message about how what did he say? It was some shenanigans. I was just like,
She was wrong.
Yeah, basically I was wrong, and I was talking to one of his
Shame on
best
her.
friends and whatever, and I was like, best friends. From what I understand, I ain't ain't like that or nothing.
We was tight.
And it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I was looking to date him or anything.
No,
If
we just love
anything, his shoelaces didn't match. So I was like,
First off,
get
you ain't
out
gonna
of
put me
here.
on a speed night on the camera.
Oh, sorry. But anyway,
What color was it?
purple and gray.
Like purple and gray don't mix.
They don't. And he had on blue and brown plaid shorts. How does that match?
Boy.
I remember what you
You
was
see
wearing
the
that
two
first
colors
day.
of the people when you know.
Anyway, so with that being said, I called him and I think I told him about the long text message, and it was like
rainbow color.
and I was just telling him like, okay, why did I get this or whatever, or what happened, or what did you say or whatever, because I'm not really one for confrontation. Well, I didn't used to be, and so that was a big thing. And then I remember like people that he knew that I knew would tell, because they would come back and tell me like, oh, he said that you're dating one of his best friends, and you know, you did this and that, and I was like, but they knew me and knew how I was, so they didn't believe him, but they knew that I was talking to him, so they kind of knew what was going on, but not like the extent of it. But because they know what kind of person I am, they knew that I would never just intentionally just be like, oh, I'm just gonna date your friend or whatever, because that wasn't really what happened. So
not really what happened, or not what happened at all.
Not happened at all.
Right, there you go.
So anyways, I feel like we met several obstacles while we were dating.
Wait, what?
We had a bunch of like different things like leading up to getting married,
major.
And I'm not gonna be specific about everything, but I'm gonna say it was a lot of stuff, and for on my part, a lot of prayer involved in making sure that
always prayer.
He was who I was supposed to be with, because like when we met, I wasn't looking for nobody. Like I wasn't trying to date anybody, but then as we progressed, it became a little bit more serious. It got a little more serious, a lot more. Then I think we meeting family, meeting friends, because I had not a whole big group of friends, but I had a few friends that I was really close to that he would come hang out with me and them, because they were really important to me. Then I think I met because he got a bunch of sisters, so I met not all of them before we got married, but I met a few of them.
Met half of the squad
before we got married. So it was like we was meeting people, and everybody's not gonna like the person you're with. Because I remember when my friends first met him, they was like, no, and I was like, why? And the thing is, people judge a book by its cover. Like when his mom didn't like me because I didn't say hi.
Why your friends didn't like me? I didn't know that. I know. I don't remember. That. Explain to me while we on camera. Video.
I remember it was.
Sorry, it's that long. I gotta ask.
I'm not gonna say any names, but I was moving and you came to my house, my apartment, and you met two of them that day. Actually, three, because one of them was my cousin. You met them that day, and they was just like, I think your shoelaces was still not matching, and they was like, Brittany, like. So I think that was it. I think it was just the way you presented yourself, because I don't think you had a haircut either. Mm. But there's a lot. Okay. Oh, and this one is one part that is important to me, is that I realized what kind of person he was. Like, because
speak on it.
Shut up. I remember one time I was sick, and he said I was disgusting because I had a throat infection, so I was like coughing up
I didn't say she was disgusting. I said it was disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember I was sick, and he had came over. I remember you walked to my house, and then I would, sleep on the couch, and because like I had a fever, couldn't eat anything, couldn't swallow anything. So he would wake me up every like couple hours and give me like an orange, and I really don't know what that orange was supposed to do, but he gave me an orange.
Yeah, I know Negroes. We just make up a remedy.
Then he would make me noodles, and then it was like every 2 hours he'd be like, "Come on,
I was a real one since day one.
Eat this orange."
I don't even think I did this for my mama.
Yeah, and it was like, oh wow, like he didn't ask me for anything, and that was also another part that that made me take notice, because previous people have asked me for like a whole bunch of stuff, and like you said, people they thought my job was good, but I really didn't have no money. But
especially from that apartment that you had. I can't ask you for something you ain't you got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was broke.
Can I get $1? I did ask for $1 a couple times. That's when we got serious.
Yeah.
She would drop me off at work.
Yeah, he asked for $1.
A couple times. Brother asked for $1 when he going to work. You taking me to work. I should be, comfortable enough to ask for $1 for a taco.
The reason that I didn't mind doing that was because I remember every time he got paid, he would fill up my gas tank, even though he wasn't really driving it. And so I always said, because growing up, I never thought that I would meet somebody that wasn't trying to take advantage of me, or it just it was just different, because everybody else, even though they had like because I don't think you had a whole lot either.
I had nothing.
You didn't have no car or nothing.
Yet.
And most people would be like, oh, I need him to have the car, the house, the everything, and I could understand that. Even looking back, I should have been like, no, we need to have some stuff in place. But it was just the person that he was.
Half the time I ain't never want to do it. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to offer you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's struggling. I mean, I just came back from a job and a program or whatnot, and came back to pretty much having nothing, because I got a little bamboozled where I was at. But I figured if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. Like most people do. So, but nonetheless, it ended up working out. We still had our little ups and downs, which everybody has. But it has made us strong and got us to the point of marriage, which we will be discussing very soon about marriage and the obstacle course of being married and in-laws and all that other good, wonderful things. So, but yeah, that's the story of how Mr. and Mrs.
We didn't say how we got to the we moved, even while engaged, we moved to SAC. We I went to SAC because my job transferred me up there. Then he followed me about 5 months later. He came up there right before we got married to look for a job. I think you started working at ABS.
I was struggling.
Yeah, he was going through it, and then the whole getting a license thing, and right after we got married, I was pregnant with our oldest, and that was hard, because we did go through a lot of stuff. But like he said, I do appreciate the hard stuff that we went through, because it made us stronger together, because we had to go through that just us, and it wasn't like we had a whole an option to go to anybody, because we were in SAC by ourselves. But that was great as far as developing our relationship. And a lot of people, I've gotten asked a lot of times about how how our marriage is, just as far as tips and everything. And I think the most important part of being married is communication. We communicate a lot. I mean, we talk all the time, almost every night. But it's not always it's not bad. It's just we talk about different stuff.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. We argue like most.
Yeah, of course.
But we have lots,
conversations.
Many. I'll put a capital on all that. We talk And don't get me wrong, it took us a while to get to this point of just communicating about everything. And yes, we do not agree with a lot of stuff, and some stuff we do agree with. But you know, that's typical. She has her mindset, and I have, you know, my mindset. And tending to the little one. But that's just how it is. You know what I mean? But we've come far, and we still have far to go. 10 being together, 10 being married, 6.5, 7.
We'll be 7 this year.
But like I said before, when I was trying to end this thing,
cause it is a long video.
yes,
we can get more into depth later, or break it down or whatever.
We'll talk about our marriage and the things that
come with it. Not just
which will be quite long. But I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. But you know, we are married and we talk a lot, so 9 times out of 10 is gonna be fucking long. So oh well. Anyway, but that's how we got together. That's how we still together. All right. We got some boys that sleep wild and crazy. But anyway, that's how we met. That's how we got together. YouTube, Grimes family, signing out. Peace and love.
Goodness.